Wait, before you scroll, look at that smile. Not the kind people wear when life is easy. Not the kind people show when everything is going their way. This is a different kind of smile. A smile that appears after pain, after disappointment, after the world tried its best to knock someone down. Most people lose their smile during moments like that, because pain has a strange way of changing people. It makes them quiet. It makes them serious. It slowly steals the light that once lived inside them. Think about it. When we're young, we smile easily. We laugh loudly. We believe anything is possible. But as life moves forward, things change. Dreams get challenged. Trust gets broken. Plans fall apart. And slowly the world starts teaching a harsh lesson. Nothing comes easy. That lesson hurts. Because every time life knocks you down, it forces you to question something important. Your belief. Not just belief in success, belief in yourself. And once that belief starts to shake, everything feels heavier. You start wondering if you're strong enough, if you're capable enough, if chasing your dream is even worth the struggle. Those thoughts appear quietly, but they are powerful, because doubt is not loud. It whispers. It grows slowly, until one day it tries to convince you to stop trying. Most people listen to that voice. They step away from their dreams. They choose comfort instead of challenge. They settle for something smaller, and little by little, their smile disappears. But there are some people who refuse to let that happen. People who look at the same struggles, the same failures, the same pain, and decide something different. They decide that pain will not control their spirit. They decide that failure will not erase their dreams. They decide that even if the world becomes heavy, they will keep moving forward. That decision is powerful, because smiling during success is easy. Anyone can do that. But smiling during struggle, that takes courage. It takes a kind of strength that cannot be taught. A strength built through battles, through setbacks, through moments where giving up felt like the easiest choice. But instead of quitting, they smiled. Not because the pain disappeared, but because they refused to let pain win. That smile becomes something powerful. It becomes resistance. It becomes proof that their spirit is still alive. Because as long as someone can still smile during the storm, it means the storm hasn't defeated them. Life may test you. It may push you to your limits. It may place obstacles in your path that seem impossible to overcome. But if your spirit remains alive, if your belief remains unbroken, then the fight is not over. Right now, you might be facing your own storm. A moment where everything feels uncertain, where the road ahead feels longer than expected, where the weight of your struggles feels heavier than ever before. But sometimes, the strongest people are not the ones who avoid pain. They are the ones who learn how to carry it without losing their spirit. And sometimes the only way to prove that your spirit is still alive is something very simple. A smile. Even when life feels unfair. Even when the struggle feels endless. Even when nobody else understands the battles you're fighting. Because that smile sends a message. A message that says, you haven't broken me yet. And now, you arrive at the moment where everything becomes quiet. Your thoughts slow down. Your mind reaches that silent pause. When life keeps testing your patience, when the struggle refuses to disappear, when the world expects you to finally lose hope, will you let the pain steal your smile? Or will you keep smiling through the storm and prove that your spirit is stronger than every battle life throws at you? Most people misunderstand strength. They think strength means never feeling pain, never feeling fear, never feeling doubt. But that's not true. Real strength is something completely different. Real strength is continuing forward even when all of those things exist. Because the truth is, everyone feels pain. Everyone experiences moments where the world feels heavy. Moments where your chest feels tight and your thoughts begin to spiral. Moments where the future suddenly feels uncertain. You begin asking questions you never asked before. Am I strong enough? Am I capable enough? Was chasing this dream a mistake? Those questions appear during the darkest moments of your journey. And those moments are dangerous, not because of the pain, but because they test your belief. Belief is fragile when you are tired. Belief shakes when results take longer than expected. Belief struggles when people around you stop understanding your vision. That's why so many people give up halfway through their dreams. Not because they lack talent, not because they lacked opportunity, but because the weight of doubt slowly became heavier than their hope. But some people refuse to surrender to that weight. They feel the same pressure. They hear the same doubts. They experience the same failures. But they decide something different. They decide that their story will not end in surrender. Instead of letting doubt silence them, they answer it. Not with words, but with action. Every time life knocks them down, they stand back up. Every time plans collapse, they rebuild them. Every time someone doubts their dream, they keep walking forward anyway. That persistence is powerful, because persistence slowly destroys doubt. It proves something important. Your limits are not decided by failure. Your limits are decided by whether you continue after failure. Think about every challenge you've faced until now. Every moment that made you feel like quitting. Every time life pushed you to your breaking point. Those moments felt unbearable when they happened, but you survived them. You kept breathing. You kept moving. You kept going even when you didn't know how things would work out. That's strength. Not loud strength, not dramatic strength, quiet strength. The kind that grows inside someone who refuses to give up. And the longer that strength grows, the harder it becomes to stop you. Because once someone survives enough storms, they stop fearing the rain. They stop fearing the thunder. They understand that storms eventually pass, but their spirit remains. That's why the strongest people in the world are not the ones who avoided struggle. They are the ones who walked through it and came out stronger. Right now, you might still be inside your storm, still fighting, still wondering how much longer the struggle will last, still questioning whether the dream is worth all the pain. But the truth is, the strongest chapters of every story are written during moments like this. Moments where quitting feels easy, but continuing requires courage. And now, once again, your mind reaches that quiet place. That moment where everything slows down. That moment where your next decision shapes your future. When the pressure keeps building. When doubt keeps whispering in your mind. When the road ahead still looks uncertain. Will you finally let the struggle silence your spirit? Or will you keep smiling through every storm and prove that your dream is stronger than every obstacle standing in your way? Now this is the moment that matters most. Not the beginning of the journey. Not the moment when motivation was high and everything felt exciting. But right here, the part of the story where things became difficult, where the path became longer than expected, where the struggle tested your patience again and again. This is the chapter that decides everything. Because this is the chapter where most people disappear. They don't fail because they are weak. They don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because the pressure becomes too heavy. The waiting becomes too long. The dream begins to feel too far away. And slowly, they convince themselves to stop. They settle for something easier, something safer, something smaller. But the people who change their destiny never stop at this moment. They stand right here, in the middle of the storm, even when the rain keeps falling, even when the wind tries to push them backward, even when everything feels uncertain. They stay, they endure, they continue walking forward step by step, not because the pain disappeared, but because their belief became stronger than their pain. Think about everything you've already survived, every failure, every disappointment, every moment where life felt unfair, every time the world tried to knock you down. Those moments were real. The struggle was real. The doubt was real. But something else was real too. You never completely gave up. Even when you slowed down, you kept moving. Even when your confidence was shaking, you kept trying. Even when the path looked impossible, you kept walking. That means something powerful lives inside you. A spirit that refuses to quit. A spirit that refuses to stay down. A spirit that refuses to let the world decide its limits. That spirit is rare, because most people lose it somewhere along the way. They allow fear to replace courage. They allow doubt to replace belief, and they allow comfort to replace their dreams. But the people who hold on to that spirit eventually become unstoppable. Not because their path becomes easy, but because their determination becomes stronger than every obstacle. The same pain that once almost broke them becomes the reason they rise higher. The same struggles that once slowed them down become the lessons that guide them forward. And one day, the world looks at their story and asks something incredible. How did they survive all of that? How did they keep going when things were so hard? How did they stay strong when everyone else gave up? The answer will be simple. You refuse to let the storm change who you are. You refuse to let pain steal your spirit. And most importantly, you refuse to stop smiling. Because that smile was never about happiness. It was about courage. The courage to keep moving even when the road became difficult. The courage to believe in your dream even when nobody else did. And now, here you are, still fighting, still chasing something bigger, still proving that your story is not finished yet. And once again, everything becomes quiet. Your thoughts slow down. Your mind reaches that final pause. When life keeps testing your strength, when the pain feels heavier than ever before, when the world expects you to finally lose hope, will you let the storm take away your smile? Or will you keep smiling through every battle and prove that your spirit was never meant to be broken?